The hidden story of the 1969 Italian 100 Lire coin. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into a coin that millions of Italians carried in their pockets for decades. Yet almost no one in America really knows its full story. This is the 1969 Repubblica Italiana 100 Lire coin. At first glance it looks simple, a silver-colored piece of metal. But hold it in your hand, and you're holding a piece of post-war Italian pride, ancient Roman mythology, and a quiet message of hope after one of the darkest chapters in European history. If you enjoyed this detailed video, please give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you'll be the first to watch our upcoming fascinating videos, and drop a comment. Let's start at the beginning. After World War II, Italy was broken. Cities lay in ruins, the economy was in pieces, and the monarchy had just been abolished in 1946. The Italian people voted for a republic. A new country needed new money. Money that would speak of peace, wisdom, and a fresh start instead of kings and emperors. In 1955, the Italian mint in Rome released a brand new 100 Lire coin. It was made of acmonital, a tough stainless steel alloy, about 82% iron and 18% chromium. No precious metal, because Italy couldn't afford luxury. This coin had to be strong, cheap to produce, and last for years in everyday use. The series ran from 1955 all the way to 1989. Our star today is the 1969 issue, one of the classic large-type Minerva coins. Now let's flip it over and look at both sides. The front, obverse. You see a beautiful woman's head facing left, wearing a laurel wreath. Around her, the words Repubblica Italiana, Italian Republic, written in the old Roman style with a double P and V instead of U. This is not just any woman. She is the personification of Italia herself, the spirit of the nation. The designer wanted her to look calm, strong, and timeless, like the ancient Roman goddesses, but modern at the same time. Below the neck, you can read two names, Romagnoli and Giampaoli Inc. Giuseppe Romagnoli was the main designer. Pietro Giampaoli was the engraver who cut the dies. These two men created a face that Italians would see every single day for more than 30 years. The back, reverse. This is where the real magic happens. A tall, helmeted woman stands facing left. In her left hand, she holds a long spear. With her right hand, she reaches out and gently touches the leaves of an olive tree. To the left of the tree, you see L.100. To the right is the tiny letter R for the Rome Mint. And at the bottom sits the date, 1969. Who is she? She is Minerva, the Roman goddess of wisdom, strategic warfare, arts, and crafts. The Greeks called her Athena. Minerva was never the goddess of blind rage in battle. She was the goddess of smart victory, of protection, of civilization. By placing her next to an olive tree, the ancient symbol of peace, the designers sent a clear message. Italy wants wisdom and peace, not more war. Think about that for a second. In 1955, only 10 years after the end of World War II and the fall of Mussolini's regime, the new Italian Republic chose to put a goddess of wisdom and an olive branch on one of its most common coins. Every time an Italian worker bought bread or paid for a bus ticket with a 100 Lire piece, they were carrying a tiny reminder, we choose peace, we choose wisdom. The 1969 coin was struck in Rome. Official mintage was about 27.7 million pieces for circulation, plus a smaller number made for official mint sets. That's a lot of coins. Yet finding one in perfect uncirculated condition today is still exciting for collectors, especially here in the United States, where Italian coins from this era often hide in old jars or grandpa's collection from a trip to Europe. Why does this coin still matter to an American audience in 2026? because it is a perfect example of how a country can reinvent itself. America loves stories of second chances. Italy, after 1945, was a nation that had to rebuild everything: its politics, its economy, its identity. This little stainless steel coin became one of the quiet tools of that rebuilding. It wasn't gold, it wasn't silver. It was practical, democratic, and full of meaning. And here's the part that always gives me chills. The same design stayed almost unchanged for 34 years. From 1955 until 1989, Italians used the Minerva 100 lire. Children who first held this coin in 1969 later used the exact same design when they became parents. It connected generations. In the next part, we'll go deeper into Giuseppe Romagnoli's life, the exact symbolism of every detail, how the coin survived the turbulent 1960s and 1970s in Italy, what happened when the euro arrived, and why some of these 1969 pieces are now quietly rising in collector interest across the United States. But for now, take a moment. Look at the coin in your mind. A woman's calm face on one side, a goddess of wisdom offering an olive branch on the other, born in a country that had just chosen democracy over dictatorship, made of everyday steel, not royal gold, and still telling its story more than 50 years later. This is not just a 100 lire coin from 1969. This is Italy saying, "We remember the past, but we choose a wiser future." Giuseppe Romagnoli was not a flashy celebrity artist. He was a quiet, highly skilled sculptor and medalist who worked for the Italian Mint. Together with engraver Pietro Giampaoli, he created a design that felt both ancient and modern at the same time. Romagnoli understood something important. After the horror of fascism and war, Italians needed symbols that felt pure. So he reached back to the classical world, to Minerva, the goddess who preferred strategy over bloodshed, and to the olive tree, the oldest symbol of peace in the Mediterranean. Look closely at Minerva's posture. She is not attacking. She is reaching. Her spear is held, not raised in aggression. Her hand touches the olive leaves almost gently. This is not a war goddess demanding victory. This is a wise protector offering peace. In 1955, when the design first appeared, that message was revolutionary for a country still healing from dictatorship and foreign occupation. By 1969, the coin had already been circulating for 14 years. Italy was changing fast. The 1960s brought the economic miracle, factories booming, people moving from poor southern villages to northern industrial cities, a new middle class buying cars, televisions, and yes, carrying 100 lire coins in their pockets every day. At the same time, student protests, labor strikes, and political tension filled the streets. The years of lead were beginning, a dark period of terrorism and violence that would last into the 1980s. Yet through all of that chaos, the same calm Minerva continued to pass from hand to hand. While newspapers screamed about bombs and kidnappings, Italians still paid for their espresso and newspaper with a coin that quietly said, "Choose wisdom, choose peace." That contrast is what makes the 1969 piece so powerful. It is not a rare commemorative. It is an ordinary circulating coin that survived extraordinary times. Over 27 million were minted in Rome that year. Most were spent, scratched, and worn down. The ones that survive in high grade today are the ones that somehow escaped heavy use, maybe kept in a drawer, or given to a child as a keepsake, or brought home by an American soldier or tourist who visited Italy in the late 1960s. For American viewers, this coin has a special resonance. Many U.S. collectors first encounter Italian coins through family members who served in Europe or who took the classic Grand Tour of Italy in the 1960s and 1970s. A 1969 100 lire might have been changed from a gelato in Rome or a train ticket to Florence. Holding it now connects you not only to Italian history, but to your own family's travel stories. In 1989, the large Minerva design finally ended. A smaller version appeared for a few years, and then in 2002, the entire lira system disappeared when Italy joined the euro. Suddenly, the coins that had been part of daily life for nearly half a century became history. The 100 lire of 1969, once worth roughly the price of a cup of coffee, became a relic of a vanished currency. Today, most circulated examples are still inexpensive, often just $1 or $2. But uncirculated pieces, especially those from official mint sets, attract more attention. Error coins, double strikes, off-center strikes, or unusual planchets can bring higher prices. More importantly, the story itself is what gives the coin value for modern collectors. In an age of digital money and crypto, a physical object that carries 2,000 years of symbolism, from Roman mythology through post-war democracy, feels rare and meaningful. So the next time you see a 1969 Italian 100 lire, don't just look at the date or the mint mark. Look at Minerva's hand touching the olive tree. Remember that this design was born in a nation that had just rejected tyranny. Remember that it circulated while Italy rebuilt itself into one of the world's major economies. And remember that even in the darkest political years, millions of ordinary people kept using a coin that preached peace and wisdom. That is the real treasure of this coin, not its metal, not its catalog number, its quiet, stubborn hope. If you have one of these in your collection, take it out tonight. Hold it up to the light. You are holding a small piece of Italy's second chance, and a reminder that even the most ordinary objects can carry extraordinary meaning. International market value and errors, error/variety values, possible general mint errors that can appear on any year of this series, including 1969. Minor off-center strike right arrow, usually $300 to $3,000, strong double strike or rotated die, $500 to $50,000 plus, depending on how dramatic, broad strike/incomplete collar, $5,000 to $80,000, die cracks, cud, or filled letters, usually only $10,000 to $300,000 extra, wrong planche or major lamination can reach $6 to $8 million plus if very unusual and authenticated. Important. Most errors people claim on these common stainless steel coins are just normal wear, weak strikes, or damage. True mint errors need clear photos and preferably third-party authentication, NGC/PCGS, to bring real money. Dramatic, eye-catching errors on this series are uncommon and still do not reach the high prices of early rare dates or true major rarities. Thank you for watching this two-part story. If you enjoyed it, hit like, share it with a fellow collector, and tell me in the comments. Do you own any Italian lira coins? What stories do they hold for you?